If you folks don't know, my name is Abigail. I'm from the Developmental Disabilities Training Unit. So far, it is a unit of one. So please be patient with me as I am taking care of the controls today. I'm doing the presentation. I'm wearing multiple hats. I'm taking care of Q&A. So again, please be patient with me. And we would like to get things started today. So if you folks can take a look in the chat, we have some handouts that are available for you folks to download. I don't know if you noticed in the presentation earlier, as well as the links that I have, we actually have two sites in which you can download information about our First Tuesdays training series. So for those of you folks who don't know, we actually offer this First Tuesdays training series for both staff as well as the general public. The staff sessions are scheduled from 9 a.m. to 10, and then our general public sessions are scheduled from 11 to 12. The calendars unfortunately couldn't jive as well as I liked it to, but there are different schedules and for both sessions. So my recommendation is for you folks to go ahead and check out the SharePoint site for the DDD training unit. I listed the link in the chat. And what happens is when you go there, you'll go ahead and take a look at the different links that we have available, and it easily accesses and references our external link for providers. So should you be working with a family that you think that an upcoming training would be beneficial for them, then you can always refer anyone to our external training site. All right, so let us get this show on the road. So today what we are going to be talking about is we are going to be talking about the vision and trajectory. Okay, so as you folks know, we have LifeCourse fused into our operations with an Inspire. But one thing about our DDD First Tuesdays training series is that we take these LifeCourse tools and these principles and break it down to the simple level as much as possible. So today we are going to go ahead and start off with the LifeCourse principles. Every First Tuesdays training series does a quick recap of the 8 guiding principles. We're then going to go ahead and zero in and talk about the vision and trajectory. And then last but not least, we'll go ahead and open up for questions. So typically with this vision and trajectory presentation, we have it as an interactive session. So again, please be patient with me because, you know, I'm a one-man show. And then I tweak this presentation to do 2 things: to maintain the webinar format, because I know we're all zoomed out already, so we can make sure that all of our cameras are turned off. And I wanted to make sure that the cameras remained off so that way you folks could go ahead and take a better glimpse into yourself to see us work out this vision and trajectory tool individually for ourselves. All right, so let's go ahead and start things off with the guiding principle, and ultimately that we believe that all people have the right to live, love, work, and play and pursue their dreams in the community. So with the LifeCourse guiding principles, this LifeCourse framework was actually developed in 2011 from a Wingspread family conference in which the nation's leading family advocacy organizations locked themselves in a room in 2011 and came up with these 8 guiding principles to kind of change our framework, change our thinking, and change our practices so that way we can now begin supporting families as well as the individuals with disabilities. So here are the 8 guiding principles. We're starting off with number 1, that the Supporting Families LifeCourse framework is for all. So did you know typically in a study in 2015, 4.9 million people in America have a developmental disability. Of the 4.9 million, only 25% of them are receiving services from a state agency. The remaining 75, however, doesn't know about the services. And we just wanted to make sure that this LifeCourse framework not only applies to those that are receiving services, but those that are not as well. If we're zooming into Hawaii, this is old data, but when I get more staff, I'm going to update it, I promise. In 2016, we had 22,000 people in Hawaii with a disability, and here's a breakdown. For us, 86% of them were not known to the system. And then the breakdown of those are receiving waiver, laser, and then also those that are within an ICF. Guiding principle number 2 is that the family systems and cycles. So when we have a family, there are reciprocal roles when it comes to the family member as well as to the individual. We always believe that the individual exists within the context of their family. Their family support will all depend upon where the person is within their lives. So, for example, if we have an individual that is growing up, they will have lots of family support. But typically, what happens is, right, when they age, the family support diminishes. And we wanted to make sure that we understand that individuals exist within the cycle of a family. Our third guiding principle is that we focus on life outcomes. We have the different life domains, and we wanted to kind of change our focus. Instead of focusing on health outcomes, we then focus on life outcomes. This practice is always within the individuals, and with the supporting families framework, we are looking to change the focus within the system. Our fourth guiding principle is the life domains. We believe that there's more to planning than just looking at to keeping someone healthy and safe. The additional life domains, we broke it down into 6 different life domains. The first 3 is daily life and employment, community living, and social and spirituality. The second 3 is today. Let's go next. The second 3 is healthy living, safety and security, and citizenship and advocacy. We truly feel that when you are supporting an individual, we have to look at the person as a whole. And by looking at the 6 different life domains, we can help build that vision for a good life. The 7th guiding principle is not 7. 5th guiding principle is that we wanted to make sure that we support individuals across the life stages. This isn't only for those that are 18 and over, but this framework can go for those from baby to aging, infant cradle to grave. We want to make sure that with supporting the life stages and the trajectory, we focus on life experiences and the transitions throughout the different life stages. Guiding principle number 6 is that we look to support individuals and families. When families come to us, we have different buckets of support in which we can go ahead and provide them help. The first bucket is discovery and navigation. Second bucket is connecting and networking. And the last but not least, that third bucket is goods and services. Our 7th guiding principle is the integrated support star. When we are supporting individuals, supports look like more than just eligible specific supports. We want to make sure that we frame this conversation with looking at paid supports as well as natural supports. The different integrated supports that we have are technology-based, personal strengths and assets, relationships, community resources, and last but not least, eligibility specific supports. And our last guiding principle is that we want to make sure that we create change as at the line level as well as within the policy and systems. With that, the supporting families framework is looking to implement a public health transformation. Remember that all triangle I talked about earlier? We want to make sure that we expand this type of framework to not only include those that are eligibility specific, those that have a disability, but to support the community at large and the rest of society. Okay, that was my 3-minute spiel of what the supporting families framework looks like and its guiding principles. Today, specifically, I am going to go ahead and focus specifically on the vision and trajectory. Okay, so I don't know if you folks know or if anyone is familiar with the LifeCourse portfolio, but a couple years ago, we created LifeCourse within our Inspire system. And to launch this, we created this LifeCourse portfolio to help staff and to help families understand what this framework is all about. So we have a quick poll coming your way. I want to know, dun, 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 how many times have you used this LifeCourse portfolio or any of the LifeCourse tools? Okay, so when we first launched our LifeCourse training in 2019, oh my gosh, that's so long ago. We created these LifeCourse tools, and we use these LifeCourse tools on ourselves. So since then, curiosity kills the cat. I wanted to know, how many times have you used any of the LifeCourse tools, whether it's the portfolio or any tool in general, on yourself since then, if you've ever used it? And that way it kind of gives me a glimpse of how I can go ahead and cater today's presentation. So if I could go ahead and have you folks fill out the quick poll. We have about 30% of you that completed it so far. We'll wait for a few more. All right. Okay, so let us go ahead and show our results, shall we? So a few of us, we've never used it since then, 1 or 2 times. And then we have a handful that has never used the tool for itself. All right, so we got lots to go, and we're gonna go there today. All right, so let us talk about what the trajectory is. The trajectory principle and tool will help you define your vision for a good life. We talk about our past experiences and how it has helped us or hindered us to help meet our goals. This trajectory principle or this trajectory tool helps us set our goals and list out what may get in the way so we know what to avoid. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a step back. When we are looking at the LifeCourse principles, when we are looking at any type of supporting families framework, who do you think should use these tools and why? So let us go ahead and launch the next poll. Who do you think, it's not here, or who should use the trajectory tool? Is it just DDD participants, people with a disability, parents and families, staff, or anyone? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and give you folks a few more. All right. We have those that did answer. You are correct. Anyone can use these trajectory tools or any LifeCourse tools. So when we are talking about the trajectory, who should use it and why? Pretty much anyone can use these tools. It can be used by anyone as they make sure that they take a look at their long-term and short-term goals. It can also be used as a visual aid to guide and explore different things in our lives. Okay, this tool can be used for specifically self-exploration, a reflection tool, as well as a tool that we have for goal setting. So when we are looking at the vision and trajectory, there are actually 2 different parts to it. The first part is the experiences that we have, and the second part is the vision. Okay, so today what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and break down the 2 different parts of this tool, and hopefully by the end of today's presentation, you folks will be able to complete this tool for yourself. Okay. All right, let us go ahead and get things started. So when we are talking about the vision, we are specifically talking about two main questions. what is our vision for a good life and what we don't want for a good life. Okay, so the vision for a good life can be things that are dreams for the overall good life, what we really want life to look like. How do I picture my life? What are some of your extremely long-term goals, and where do you see yourself in about 5 to 10 years? Okay, the second question is we look at what we don't want. So these are things that are our pet peeves, these are our dislikes, things that we are absolutely trying to avoid in our lives, things that makes us sad. And these are kind of that red area where we absolutely want nothing to do with it. Okay. Um, Ultimately, that's what it is. The vision for a good life is if money had no motive, if money had no options, what is your vision for a good life? Okay. Next, let's go ahead and talk about our experiences. So I'm not sure if any of you folks got the email earlier, or if you just signed up today. What we are going to need is we are going to need a piece of paper and a pen. Where is my pen? Okay, so if you folks could go ahead and have that handy for me, then we can go ahead and get this show on the road. Okay, so when we are talking about life experiences and when we're just talking and reflecting about the lives that we had, we look at it as, right, two different things, right? We had our past life, and then we have the new life that we're trying to build, right? Whether we're talking about the past or the new life coming up, we always reflect back on the different experiences that we've had and the experiences that we would like to take on in the future. So if you take your blank sheet of paper, we are going to go ahead and do a fancy T chart. Okay, so draw it out with me. Maybe I should do better. So this is my T chart. Okay, or my T chart is actually reflected on the computer. That's easier for me. Okay, so on the left hand side, I am going to go ahead and have you folks answer two questions. Okay, the first question is, what life experiences brought you here? Let's go ahead and give you folks a few seconds to complete this. And it's so simple, but it's such a deep question. So just list anything, straight up listing and firing squad type of listing. What experiences has brought you here to this very day? You guys like that, my remix? I couldn't download Jeopardy because apparently it's copyrighted. So I have to download a remix. All right. Second question is, in the future, where do you see yourself? So do you see yourself as king of the world? Do you see yourself as a millionaire? Do you see yourself as Bruno Mars' assistant? Where do you honestly see yourself? We'll give you folks a few minutes to answer this question. How's everybody doing? Do you folks need more time? Sorry, we have to use a lot of polls because we're on webinar option, so I can't see your face. We ready? Okay, everyone's ready. All right. So when we are taking a look at these two golden questions, we look back, right, at our past life experiences, what we went through, and then we look at future life experiences, or where do we see ourselves? Okay, so when we are taking a look at these two golden questions, we are breaking it down. This is an anonymous person filling what the examples you're seeing on this, you're about to see on the screen is an anonymous person, aka myself. Okay, so here I have my life experiences that brought me here to this very day, graduating from college. My first job out of college, the funding ended, so I actually got laid off. Then I got married. Unfortunately, my other job, I had a micromanager and a workplace injury. And then realistically, in 2016, when I first came over to DDD, my husband had a career change, and then there was a death in the family. Okay. In the future, where do I see myself? I see myself with a master's degree, hopefully, helping those on a national level and working and training staff. So I actually was going to put, where do I see yourself? Hopefully with more than one person in the unit, but no one would have got the joke. Okay, moving on. So here is my list. Okay, so when we are, again, reflecting on our life experiences, we want to make sure that, right, this is the self-reflection time that I was talking about. So take a look at your list, and I want you to review and circle the negative life experiences. Okay, so we'll give you about 2 minutes to do this. I forgot to put my music on this slide. Sorry. So we'll give you folks about 2 minutes. Take a look at your list and then circle all the negative life experiences. How's everybody doing? Okay, we're ready. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the list that we saw earlier. So some of my negative life experiences are funding ended from my job, a death in the family. Another one, if I take a look at my list, dun dun dun, where should it go next? Getting married. Just kidding, I meant laid off. Laid off. No, no one's laughing on that one. All right. I thought that was so funny. Okay, next is then also a micromanager. Okay. So if you take a look at my list, these are negative life experiences on the previous life experiences that got me here. So if I'm taking a look at the future, right? These are future life experiences that I would like to go ahead and have. Do I have any negative life experiences? Do I, anyone? Anyone? So I'm going to go ahead and open up the chat. If you want to remain anonymous, you can go ahead and utilize the Q&A function. But can anyone tell me why I don't have a negative life experience for the future? So feel free to include it in the chat if you like. If you want to stay anonymous, the Q&A window is open and only I can see it. Can anybody tell me why? We got Deb in the chat. She put, you're focusing in on positive, personal, and professional. Yep, positive goals, personal and professional. Because you're a positive, upbeat person with an awesome future life goals. Thanks. Are you guys making me feel better because I'm a unit of one? Right? So if you take a look at this list, we don't intentionally plan for negative things, right? And this is what the trajectory is about. It's about self-reflection and identifying these negative life experiences to make sure that we don't see them. This is a vision of what we do not want. And these are things that we'd like to avoid. Okay, we do this because we want to make sure that we continue to track on a positive trajectory. Okay, so like what we have here, not always will that trajectory be that straight. Realistically, sometimes our trajectory, like what I shared in the past, right? It looks any kind: death in the family, first job, getting married, laid off. But realistically, when we identify the things that we don't want, we can use that to identify the good life we have, to make sure that we continue to trek up on the upward trajectory. Okay, so when you're looking at this trajectory tool or utilizing the vision and trajectory, some things that are important for you folks to remember is that these are strength-based, just like what Deb and Scott said, right? We are looking to focus on positive things. This strength-based concept is designed to think about both short-term and long-term goals. We want to make sure that this promotes a discussion, self-awareness, and just planning and facilitating what that looks like. And also, we want to recognize and be responsible for the different types of experiences that people have when we are planning. I included this, some points of performance. So this is how you know you're kind of going on the right track. It's important for everyone to think about the future, not just during transition time. But if you are stuck, and realistically, a lot of people can't answer, what do you want for a good life? You start off with things of what you don't want. What are you trying to avoid? Some other things that can help you perform when you're looking at utilizing this trajectory tool is to be mindful, and asking someone about their life can be personal. So make sure that you kind of, for me personally, I'm an open book. Everyone knows that. I'll post it everywhere. But again, certain people don't feel that. So again, that's why I wanted to make sure that we respected the webinar option and keeping everything closed off. And again, this tool is designed to help with interactive conversations. Don't just fill out the tool just to fill it out. This tool is used, I know it's a really hard concept to hear that, because we included a lot of these tools within our ISP. But truthfully, if you're looking at the principle and what the guiding principles are all about, is to truly understand what our vision for a good life is. And just by using this as a visual cue on what we are planning for the future. So some tips, when you are using this tool, start by having the conversation of what is going on right now and determine, what that looks like. If you're talking about the future, determine different time frames. Some other tips is you can start anywhere in the tool. It doesn't need to specifically be at the vision. You start there, and then we talk about experiences. It could seriously just start off with, what happened last month and what did you like and what you didn't like. Go over the trajectory one more time with the person you are completing it with. If you're using it for work, make sure that the tool is based off of the information that they provided. Again, make sure to avoid using your own feedback, your own ideas when you are filling the tool with someone else. And this trajectory tool is designed to be used over and over again, so you can track process to see how far you've come. For those of you folks, well, since I have no one working for me anymore, but I use the trajectory tool pretty often as a supervisor when I'm using it actually for our past goals that we create yearly. I've also used it to help staff as they transition into a different job. But again, this trajectory can be used for a wide spectrum of different planning ideas that you have for the future. All right, so this sums up today's vision and trajectory tool. We, just to recap, when it comes to the LifeCourse principles, we always start with the person, and the person is always centered and surrounded by their families. When we are looking at supporting families and the individual, we look to plan across different life domains. When we are supporting families, families are supported in 3 different buckets of support. And the 3 different buckets of support, and when we're looking at support is integrated off of 5 different points of the star, and to make sure that we track always on the positive trajectory across the lifespan. So I would like to go ahead and open up this time for a quick Q&A. If anyone would like to go ahead and put their Q&A in the Q&A box, in the chat box. But these first Tuesday's trainings are actually designed to be quick refreshers, nothing that you need to stay on for an hour and a half or 2, but just quick presentations to kind of just talk about and get back to what we're all about. We're all about just supporting the individual. And in order for us to support the individual, we need to understand what a lot of these principles are. All right, so if there are no questions, I would like to thank each and every one of you folks for joining me today. I'm not going to have any more First Tuesdays training series for the year. So if I don't see you, have a great holiday season. Should you have any questions in regards to more training, feel free to reach out to us at doh.ddtraining@doh.hawaii.gov. Last but not least, we have a webinar coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. to talk about how the ARPA rate is increasing and what that means for providers as well as case managers. So I know we sent it out extremely late, but we hope you can join us because there are some changes that are going to happen on the case management end. Our next First Tuesday training series for staff is going to be on February 2nd, 2022, and we are going to go ahead and talk about life domains. So again, if you don't know, feel free to visit our internal training unit SharePoint, and we have all of our archived information listed on our SharePoint. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good day. See you later. Merry Christmas.